beginning, when you went over the history of the frameworks, you mentioned the college and career readiness standards. So that kind of, I wrote that down, and a few minutes ago you answered, you know, kind of that the Common Core and the GED and all of that will lead to those. So that you answered that question. But I don't know too much about those, so I'm going to definitely look into them. It's kind of nice to know where we're going, I guess, the next step after GED and how, where our students will go, yeah.
I was impressed by how flexible these standards are. I come from a private school background, and I've never had to deal with it, and I've heard public school teachers talk about what a hassle it can be, but it's not a hassle. I mean, if you look at it from this perspective, and so I look at it as a toolkit, and it's very handy, so I'm excited to use it. And you know, the interesting thing is, a lot of us have been incorporating this in our lesson planning anyway, but now we have vocabulary for it.
Very nice.
I was just happy that there was kind of like in the beginning I was like, well, I just want to know how to help students pass, you know, tests or to just improve their skills. And I just was happy that it's like kind of like a guideline to use to get them there. And I'm used to doing that with standards when I taught science, and I just got really good at it. So for me, I like to have a roadmap because you can go anywhere and you kind of need to know where you're headed. And then the one thing I didn't get answered was somebody had mentioned, how can we share things? Is there a place to share, like you mentioned a wiki, is there a place to share lesson plans and stuff like that? So
I'll get back to you in just a minute.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, if you end up going to the institutes, again, the institutes there are 6 days across a school year, and you're at this point you're physically in the location. It's not online right now, and it's 2 days in the fall, 2 days in the winter, 2 days in the spring. So it's different from the online area focus classes, but that's a changing thing. Good. Oh, Taylor. Question you got answered, and a question you might still have.
I had a nice broad question of just learning more about the standards. You know, I had seen them when you emailed them out. I had seen them, but they are kind of daunting to just kind of look through by yourself. And so going through, you know, it seemed repetitive sort of to go through everything, but actually for me at least really helps to see what each page actually is telling you, because otherwise I'm just like, you know, it's just a bunch of words. And so now I don't necessarily know all about every standard, but I know how to read these documents and figure out what I need to know about them.
Wow. Another paid actor right here. Excellent. That was one of the outcomes of this Elder Yellow paper. That was one of the outcomes. Anybody else? Question was answered, or you might still have?
Well, I came into I'm from California, so this is all new to me. And like I think a few folks had mentioned, looking at standards, I was expecting more a K-12 approach, and I was concerned that it wouldn't be as student-focused as it is. But an unanswered question, given that it is student-focused, how can we as teachers instill a sense of ownership among the students to learn, and not just, you know, well, I know we're not depositors of knowledge, but I'm not sure if I'm making myself clear about how to instill not a sense of urgency, but just a desire for them to take ownership of learning.
And that's where that purposefulness comes in, but I know a certain student group might not have defined purposes, and they might not have the need to make definitions, so I can see how it can be challenging. Most students have purpose, but yeah.